Hello everyone and welcome back to Monster Hunter World. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of story. I'm not going to spoil what we're going to be doing, but if you've been paying attention, you already know that we're going to the Great Ravine to see if we can, see what we can find there. So, as I'm speaking here, I'm also looking at my hunter, present hunter on my big screen TV because was just co-oping. I was like, oh damn, I forgot to do my voice acting. Because that's basically what this is. But, yeah, there's a lot of talking here, a lot of storyline. I'm not going to try and do storyline analysis because this is freaking Monster Hunter, not Final Fantasy. But, you can read if you like. I've already read it 3 times now, because I watched this whole thing beforehand, and here we are again. So, yeah, this is probably not what you would call a longer video, but that's because I chopped it down about 20 minutes of me running around an area later, doing absolutely nothing besides picking stuff up. I mean, if you wanted to watch that, you could go watch someone play an MMO on Twitch, but I don't do that, and I doubt most people do. But hey, at least there's that one hunter that actually does something. Like, no other hunter in the game ever seems to actually do something, unless you want to argue the huntsman. And then he did something like once in one cutscene, which I think was the same cutscene as that guy. Like, no other hunter ever really does anything in this game. Unless you want to make the argument the ones that load the cannon, but they don't actually shoot it. I'm not really sure I'd qualify that as going, but, yep. Just a whole lot of storyline going on. But, I mean, you can pretty much guess what's going to happen here. Or at least I could. I guess that's not obvious, but... Well, what's the big common denominator here? Or what's unusual going on here? Alright. Someone else is here. Okay, I think that's about it for the vocal cutscene. So, yeah, that wasn't hard to predict at all, considering the handlers never ran with us where anything good happened. The only argument that is maybe like the escort mission before, but even then, whenever she comes along, things hardly go as planned. I guess that's pretty obvious looking back on it, but yeah, meet the 3rd Fleet Master, or Admiral, rather. Is she Admiral or Master? Well, it says Master. I thought it was Admiral, but she's the stereotypical odd one out compared to the other generals, or admirals, or masters, or whatever you want to call them. At least I always felt that was her stereotype. She's like the loner, as opposed to the other ones. Takes all kinds to run a fleet, I guess. So we told her our story, and now we're coming up with another plan. It's actually a pretty unique one. Okay, not really. For a hunting game, this is kind of par for the course. I think they did this in Tokiden too, but my memory on that's foggy. Anyway, yeah, we're going on an expedition, boys and girls. That's where we're going. To the Coral Highlands. It's actually one of my favorite places in the game, aesthetically speaking. As far as getting around, it's actually really fun once you get used to where all the different, wedge beetles, I think they're called. Once you get used to where all the wedge beetles are, it's really fun to go around there. Until you learn it, though, it's hell on earth because it takes forever to get anywhere. But yes, this is the research base. This becomes very important later. Do not forget about this place. I did. I know at least one other person who did. You get a fantastic accessory if you complete all the quests here. So remember that. If you get a quest called Tinkling Taste, or I forget what it's called, do that quest and keep doing things after that quest. Okay, just trust me. It'll go a lot better for you if you do. You'll get a neat little... kind of like a health booster, but not really. I think it's better than health booster, personally, but it doesn't restore health. So, yeah. Just a little tidbit, because I didn't get that until, just about 4 in-game hours ago, and I'm over 140 now, so trying to help you guys out, the new players out there, like, oh, there's something there? Oh, hell, I'll come back here when I get to high rank. Sweet. Yeah, do yourself a favor. Do it. I'm still trying to find all the mantles and all that stuff, but I'll get there eventually, don't worry. It's only 140 hours in. I got probably about a good 900 more before I start trying to give it a rest a little bit. I think I can find it in that time. Okay, so I tend to get lost in places I don't know where I'm at, and this place is kind of has a confusing layout. Not really when I'm used to it now, but when you're first here, you're like, holy crap, there's a bunch of levels. To be honest, this woman is useful once in the game ever, and I don't think it's that time yet. So you don't really have to worry about her too much. She might give a quest later. I don't think she did, but I think she just the one time. And it's pretty important, though, the one time you do talk to her. Arguably not, because a lot of people don't like that particular use of points, resource points, but I actually just use them all. Then again, I'm lazy and don't like farming things that I don't have to, so... Yeah, we're going to be going on our own little expedition. And yeah, there's going to be at least 2 new monsters off the top of my head. 3 technically if you want to get anal about it, but 2 big boss type monsters we're going to be seeing here. And one of them is if you're a greatsword user, it's one of your worst nightmares. I don't care what anybody says, Otogaron is cake. This thing coming up is without a doubt, I'd say, it depends on your playstyle. It's either the worst thing to fight with a greatsword or the second worst, depending. For me, it's probably the worst, because well, you'll see. But before we get to that, the one that's a bit easier. Because it's basically Kurayaku for version 2. Now, that's unique. You think, oh, he can blind you and stun you. Yeah, he can. It don't make no sense how. Because I thought, oh, so if you're looking at him, you get stunned. If you're not looking at him, you don't get stunned. That's not the way that works. You get stunned if you're just anywhere in that. And I was barely in that. It wouldn't have... It probably did me a favor anyway, because I would have just sailed off the edge, but yeah. Yeah, you'll see me test that theory out later. This thing is actually really cake once you get used to it. Because it just staggers so easily. It can't roar you to stun. It just has a little tail swipe and a tackle. It's basically all it does. This thing is probably one of the easiest monsters in the game to kill. Arguably more so than even the Great Jagras. At least for me, I find Great Jagras actually can be a little bit troublesome if he decides to be a dick about it. This thing, if you screw up in this fight, it's pretty much all on you. Try not to get too far in front of him, and try and stay to his sides, so that doesn't happen right there. Basically is it. So if you're going to hit him in the head, try and get, like, off to the angle, so you can hit him... you not perpendicular, but hopefully you get what I'm saying here, like... yeah, diagonal, that's the one I'm looking for. Try and get, like, diagonal, so you can do that. That's also really annoying, so I guess you want to stay to his right, or your left. Because I think he raised his left leg, didn't he? So you'd want to stay on your left. Whichever side he didn't raise his leg. I think he only raised his leg on the one side. Then again, I don't really fight Yaku very often, so I don't know. Spoiler, he's not a big in-game boss. So, yeah. Now, I might have went a little overboard here. I was like, well, shit, dude. Let's just let nature take its course and see what happens while I just get ready, you know. It actually worked pretty well, too. That's why I still sometimes use the ghillie mantle, even though it's kind of outclassed later in the game. It's really nice. That was just very poor. If you saw my stamina bar go just drain down, that's what happens when you either don't brace or don't jump. Arguably, bracing is kind of a waste of time. I hate that, but it is. I wish you couldn't just ignore mechanics like that, but honestly, the best thing you can do if something starts bucking, so to speak, or trying to knock you off is just kind of jump to the next thing and keep stabbing. You won't lose stamina. I don't think that's what they intended. They're probably going to patch that at some point, so if they do and you're like watching this in the future, I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but as of right now, you know, February 22nd, it still works that way, okay? Or 2018, I should say. Yeah, anyway, as of right now, that still works. I don't like it works, but it is kind of neat. Just a little, see, I was like, I wonder if I'm not looking at it, will it still stun me? It still stuns you. It makes no goddamn sense on earth why it stuns you. It still stuns you, though, don't worry. If you're worried, it still stuns you. Unfortunately, Kuliyaku is not exactly the brightest bulb in the tool shed, funny enough, but did I mention it likes turning around like a jackass when you're in the middle of a swing? Yeah, you're going to get used to that. But overall, this thing's really, really easy to fight. He's not hard at all. Like, if you have trouble with Tsuyaku, just practice. If you don't get better, you're not going to get very far. Which, I'm sure you will get far, I'm just saying. I've never met anybody that has trouble with Tsuyaku yet. He's kind of like the Great Jaggy of this game. Except, he actually has one gimmick that is kind of deadly. A little bit. I mean, Great Jaggy's was his kind of entourage of swords, and he could, you know, order things to hit you, which kind of sucked as a great sword, but at least this thing, yeah, anyway, 15 minutes of wandering my butt around gathering things. If you want to know the exact layout of the map, well, I suggest personally you get the game, and if you want to, I would even invite you to my squad. Yeah, we only have one rule in my squad: try not to be an ass, and try your best. That's pretty much the only things in my squad. If you're interested, though, yeah, add me on PSN and let me know. Next time I'm on Monster Hunter, I'll invite you. So, just there you go. Personally, I've been using the hunting horn a lot more recently. But, yeah, Actually, I'm way far away. I don't know how the hell. Oh, right, I was like, why the hell did I go this way? Because the map said, this is where you're supposed to go, so I went this way. Yeah, that thing over there, that's one of the worst things in the Greatsword with the Greatsword to fight in the entire game, in my opinion. It's fast, it loves flying, and it has a ailment that can really screw you hard. If you're, well, not very mobile. Guess what the Greatsword is? If you get greedy in this fight, you will get hit, and you will get hit hard. This thing has ranged attacks as well, very long range, I might add. This thing is pretty much just a shit show all around for a Greatsword. It didn't help that I had like no extra health from the canteen, but I honestly didn't think I was going to be getting into some big boss fight. The only reason I'm still here is because I'm stubborn as a mule and want to kill that damn Tsuyaku. That's the only reason I'm still in this at this point in the video. But yeah, this is what they consider the apex predator of the Coral Highlands, so I really probably should not be trying to fight this yet, but you remember when I said if you get greedy, shit hurts? Well, shit hurts. You also might notice my stamina bar being blue. This is very bad. For those who don't know, I think that's water blight or is it ice blight? It basically acts the same as water blight if it's not water blight. Basically, it means if you try and sprint or roll or anything that requires stamina, well, you lose it at an advanced pace, and the only way to get rid of it is with a nullberry or just kind of waiting. Personally, I'd recommend the nullberry unless you're not in combat, then I just wait. But yeah, there's a time for fighting, and there's a time for getting the hell out of here. This was the time for the latter, because I wasn't quite ready to fight Legiana. I got my revenge. In fact, I just farmed her for about 3 or 4 hours yesterday, so I've actually gotten pretty good at that fight now. Oh, by the way, I have no idea where this was. I don't even remember this area of the map. But apparently I found it. So, take note if you remember where that was. It was up near where Legiana's little nest, not nest, the nest is higher up. Her hunting ground. And then you go like back behind there and you climb up some vines, and I think you just went in there. I don't remember what all was in here, if anything, but I honestly did not remember coming in here, so you might want to make a note of it in case there is something in here. It does not appear that there was, however, so you might not want to do that. To my remembrance, I don't think this is where the Grimalkines are. Are they? I don't think they are. I don't remember where they were in the Coral Highlands. Damn. I really should have remembered that. Oh, well. Oh, wait, no. I remember where it is now. I don't think it was near there. Anyway, since we were just here, we're just higher up from where we were. We're going to skip forward, going back to where Zitiyaku was, because it took me a long time to get back there, because at this point, I had not quite mastered the art of, if I'm far away, I should probably just open my mini-map and fly there. I decided I had to run the whole way. Again, not very efficient. You probably shouldn't do that. It takes forever doing it that way, but it was my first time through the Coral Highlands. I wanted to just kind of run through it and try and map it out. You know how it goes. By the way, for people who do not know, I think I might have said this once before. This was a little better because I used the second, the strong charge or whatever it's called. But if you're with a greatsword user and something is asleep, what you should do is put bombs down, preferably not right at the head. Put it like behind the head. If the greatsword user's competent, like I'm getting to be, they're going to open up with a true charge on its head for probably over 1,000 damage, and then you shoot the barrels, and boom, it's usually dead outright. So if you're a dual-wield user, please don't smack the thing while it's sleeping. It really doesn't help much. Of course, some people get mad at me because they're like, dude, don't true charge. You're supposed to just bomb. Oh, yeah, the 180 damage bomb's going to do more than my 1,000 true charge. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, no, yeah. I'm sorry. It's a pet peeve. You know, the one time as a greatsword user, you know you can do shitloads of damage, and it just kind of goes to pot because someone wanted to smack it for 40 damage. It's kind of funny if it wasn't so darned annoying. That was ballsy, and I'm surprised that worked. Little tip for you, it's extremely hard to make use of, but it is something to know. If you manage to hit something with a decently charged attack while it's attacking, almost every time it will get stunned. I'm talking late game bosses as well. If you hit them with a true charge or a strong charge, a lot of times they'll just get interrupted, and so it's risky. But it is a big payoff if you manage to do it right. Boom. Damn, do I love my true charge. But yeah, we got. I wanted to have at least one kill. I didn't want to just leave like a little coward. I wanted to kill at least one thing before I left here, this expedition. I wasn't so crazy as to make that Legiana, but I wanted to kill something my first time through. I tried to kill Legiana. I did really poor. Especially considering I had no idea what her moveset was. I don't think I did pretty bad, as I recall. Oh, I did horrible. In fact, I still do pretty bad, but at least now I can usually reliably land true charges on that flying abomination. I hate Legiana. Well, actually, no. I guess it's kind of fun in a really challenging way, but it's not the worst in the game. It's not the worst. Also, fun idea for anybody who maybe wants to use Hunting Horn, which I highly recommend that you do. People apparently really love you if you use the Hunting Horn in SOSs. I don't know why. Apparently, like, nobody uses the thing. Again, I have no idea why. I can reach over 1,000 attack power with that thing, so I don't know why people don't like to use it, but they don't like to use it. It's too slow. It's a support weapon. Well, what's wrong with that? You still do probably more damage than most people in the party. Or at least I do. I mean, I'm just constantly song going up, encores here, over there. Oh well. I guess I'll lament the lack of Hunting Horn users next time. So, I apparently have a visitor. Who the hell's it? Oh, this guy. Who's the visitor? Well, he's like staring right at you. I mean, oh yeah, you're here. I forgot about you. I forgot you even existed. So now, this is, again, very stereotypical. We gotta go get materials for this mission. It's just like any other MMO, actually, I guess, come to think of it. I guess a lot of games are kind of on that whole MMO system. Give quest, take quest, do quest, turn it in, boom, you reward. Well, anyway. Now that I've compared a single player, well, I guess it's not technically single player. Now that I compared Monster Hunter to an MMO, I guess I should move on from that topic. Good luck, he says. I notice you're not actually doing anything, but yeah, I got the glider mantle. Now, the glider mantle, do you remember when I was running away from Legiana and it said that little X thing? If you had the glider thing on, I think you can just, like, hit circle and you'll just fly up and be able to traverse the Coral Highlands that way. I personally never done it. I've seen Glasgow do it. I've never done it because I never remember to wear the darn thing. But that is a really neat thing if you want to try have easier time getting around. So, it's a neat little toy to play around with. But before we go, you got to upgrade your weapon. That's the name. That's not really the name of the game, but that should be the name of the game. Maybe. Anyway, it's very important, so just try to remember to do this halfway regularly. But that's gonna be about it for today. Next time we're gonna be fighting Paolumu, as you saw. Paolumu is if Legiana's the worst, this thing's the second worst. If Legiana's the second worst, this thing's the worst. The next thing's the worst. So thank you guys very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Until then, everybody.